Moin and good morning and welcome to Transatlantic Sync.
Good morning, everyone. This is Lars. I'm Katarina. We're both PhD students at Stanford Engineering, and we are the co-founders of Transatlantic Sync. We are so happy to have all 400 of you here. Well, almost. There have been some issues with ride-sharing apps, but almost all of you are here. Many of you just landed from Germany, Switzerland, Sweden, the East Coast, even China, and we're so grateful that you came all the way here to be with us today. We've heard some reports of lost luggage, and we're sorry to hear that, but luckily we're in Silicon Valley, so no need to dress up at all. We're super appreciative that you made it here this early in the day, that you battled the jet lag, and that you bring this much energy to the room this early in the day. It's really incredible, and there's coffee all day if you need some throughout the day. Okay, so why are we here? Lars and I are both from Germany, as you can probably hear. We're nervous, so our accents come out. Silicon Valley is our second home. Living and working in Silicon Valley has taught us two things. The first is that emerging technologies, especially artificial intelligence, have tremendous potential to solve really hard and very important problems. They're fundamentally changing the way we live together, the way we work together, and how our democracies operate. But like all technologies and all powerful tools, whether a specific technology ends up being good or bad for people really is up to us as engineers. Many of us here are engineers, designers, policymakers, business leaders, and as citizens. The second thing we learned is that innovation in digital technologies presents a huge opportunity for deepening the bonds between Germany and California in a way that's a true win-win situation. And that's where we're here, and we're going to dive into why we think that's true.
So nowadays, innovation in digital technology is the key to prosperity. And the three most innovative areas in the world are here, Silicon Valley, Israel, and China. Germany is not close to making that list, and it seems to be moving further and further away from it. But it is key that the German model of the social welfare state that supports both innovation and an inclusive democracy survives the digital age. Because if it doesn't survive in Germany, it won't survive anywhere else. And we want to make sure it does. So for that, we believe that Germany has to learn a lot from Silicon Valley's entrepreneurial mindset and risk-positive culture. But as people who care deeply about Germany, we have to ask ourselves the question, what else can Germany bring to the table? Is it our ingenuity in the design of complex integrated systems? Is it the wealth of manufacturing data from our modern factories? Is it our thriving robotics sector? Our question is, how can Germany and Silicon Valley partner intelligently based on their competitive advantages? How can we create a new global innovation ecosystem based on collaboration between many nations? And how can the German and American friendship be a role model for that? These are the questions we want to answer here today and tomorrow at Transatlantic Sync. So now you understand why we are here, but we also want to explain to you how we got here. So you probably already met some of our amazing team members. So when we had the idea, we lured around 20 of them into a brainstorming session with us. How did we do that? We offered them free beer. That always works. So these people made our idea so much better by leaps and bounds. And they put in so much hard work to make this idea a reality. And we are very, very thankful for that.
Yeah, thank you, guys. We also want to thank our very early supporters, or angels, as we call them here in Silicon Valley. Our first angel was Gerhard Casper. He's the former president of Stanford and was our very first supporter. He activated his networks, incredible networks, in Silicon Valley and in Germany to help make this event happen. And unfortunately, he has to be in Berlin today, but thank you, Gerhard. The second thank you, a big thank you we want to say, is that anybody in Silicon Valley will readily tell you that the best idea isn't worth anything if there's no money behind it. So we want to thank our sponsors. Without your generous support, this event wouldn't have been possible. Thank you. And we want to say a very special thank you to our seed investors, Quanco, and the German Foreign Office for getting us started with some really much needed capital in the very beginning. And we're especially honored to have Mr. Peter Bayer here today. He's representing Foreign Minister Heiko Maas, who unfortunately couldn't be here himself today, but we're honored to have you, Peter. And I also want to thank the German American Business Association for helping us organize the incredible logistics behind this event. They did a terrific job, and so thank you, GABA. Lastly, but definitely not least, I want to introduce to you two very important people who have also become not just supporters, but also friends. The first is Olaf Groth, who is, that's Olaf. He's an author and a professor on the intersection of technology and society, and he will be our moderator guiding us through these next 2 days. He also has a new book out on this topic that you can find outside. And then second, I want to introduce you to Consul General of Germany in San Francisco, Hans-Ulrich Südbeck. Where are you? Yes. Uli is an incredible human who has provided a lot of emotional, psychological, and intellectual support to both Lars and me over the past 2 years. Thank you, Uli. Really appreciate it. And it's my honor to hand the mic over to you to get us started. But before that, we have one final message for you.
Yeah, so for the next 2 days, step outside your comfort zone, share your ideas, make new friends, start something, dare to be curious, dare to be open, but most importantly, have a lot of fun.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to both of you for this wonderful and very emotional welcome. I'm so happy that I'm here for many reasons, one of them being that we spent 2 hours on the highway between San Francisco and Silicon Valley. So it's great to be here. So good morning, and I welcome you to what promises to be 2 fabulous days here in the Computer History Museum in Mountain View. I'm excited that more than half of you has come from Germany to be here and to experience Silicon Valley live, even if it's for most of you, most probably only for a few days. I'm also excited that so many of you who live here have an interest in Germany and Europe and are here to intensify the exchange. We, the German Federal Foreign Office, we are proud to be one of the early sponsors of the amazing Transatlantic Sync Scholar team, led by Katharina and Lars and all the other members who put this conference together. And of course, I have on my little sheet here, I have this first applause, but I got an applause already, but I think it deserves another one. Thank you so much. And of course, I also want to thank GABA for the support and all the work that went into organizing this conference and making it sort of a very professional event. It was good to see how it all came together over the last 18 months. Katharina and Lars, they were the ones we mainly exchanged with and so talked about this. When we first heard of the idea, then it was clear that this team would be a great potential recipient of the money from the Deutschlandjahr funds. Deutschlandjahr, not all of you may be aware of that, but it's a German-American year of friendship, which was meant to highlight the fact that the friendship between the German and the American peoples is very deep and very broad and very strong, despite political headwinds or storms or even political hurricanes. Nobody knows what's still to come. This year is drawing to a close, November 9, with the 30th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. And with the Transatlantic Sync conference, we saved the best for the last. I sincerely hope that conversations and discussions here will be the starting point for an even more systematic and long-term exchange between Germany/Europe and the Silicon Valley. Friends, in my view, there's a strong need for such sort of a more intense and more systematic exchange between Germany and the Silicon Valley. Ever since I arrived here in San Francisco about 2 years ago, I've been convinced that for us, Germany, the Silicon Valley is the single most revealing place in the world to look at what the future has in stock for us. There's so much revolutionary technology coming from here and put into use, and at such an incredible speed and in the framework of a shared transatlantic system of values, that this for us is the place to be. At the same time, my take is still that not every decision maker in Germany, be it in business, science, government, or the broader public, has completely understood the relevance of Silicon Valley developments for us. All the implications these inventions have for our society, our success in business, and the future of work in Germany, our educational debates, our foreign policies, and our political system in general. And that is why we, as the Consulate General in San Francisco, have been lobbying hard back home in Germany that the EU and Germany engage stronger, that we learn more, we intensify exchange, but also that we present what we have to offer more convincingly, and that we participate more actively in debates here. And that's why I also wholeheartedly support the initiative of a group of clever people from the German American Business Association to form an additional German presence in Silicon Valley. This presence would be a focal point for anyone who's interested in Germany, German science or products. It would be a living lab for business, science, startups and venture capital. Please, whoever is interested in learning more about this idea, somewhere among you is Jens Horstmann, I hope. Yes, there he is, standing up there. Please talk to him afterwards. Ladies and gentlemen, exchanges like the ones today and tomorrow are beneficial for all of us on both sides of the Atlantic, since what we're looking at is not a one-way street. Yes, we may not have a sort of a worldwide gigantic, that's the word to pronounce it, gigantic tech company in Europe. But we are state-of-the-art in many of the next frontier industries, transport, medical, education. More broadly, we do have a deep expertise in how to build things precisely and at scale. We have a passion for quality products, and our students and research institutions are very well regarded all over the world. Also, the EU and Germany's position make a difference in the worldwide debates on governance of new technologies. We tend to think about regulation more and sooner than the US does, in order to protect some of the social benefits we have created over the last centuries for our people. Take GDPR as a case in point. It has strongly impacted on debates worldwide on the governance of new tech. We can all learn from each other. Let's combine our respective strengths to address the global challenges we face. Emerging technologies are both a challenge, a disruption of the status quo, a source of conflict, but also, of course, a source of very great hope. And the hope that we can solve these problems together unites us. Before I give the mic to Peter Bayer, allow me to share one ambitious thought with you. This is, after all, the land of moonshots, right? So, of course, I hope that this conference will be as wonderful as it promises to be and as it has started. And if that's true, my dream would be that we have another Transatlantic Sync conference at some point, maybe in 2020 or 2021, in Germany, organized by a similarly enthusiastic group of postdoc fellows at a number of German universities, Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, Technical University of Munich, many other places which could think about it. So please, with that thought, I would like to give the mic to Peter Bayer, the coordinator of transatlantic relations of the federal German government and a long-standing member of parliament and a friend of the United States. Thank you.